getting a shot. Come here. Come here.
She'll hop up when she's ready.
I love it. She does interviews with you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's dope. Can you talk how you're going to speak in the interview?
Microphone check, 1, 2. What is this? Pass me the microphone and mind your business.
Oh, yeah, yo. Can we just touch on how me and you both fucking murdered it on the fucking
I didn't murder it.
list?
I was terrible.
Yo, listen.
I had too many drinks.
You came out and you got a little nervous, but then you came out again strong as hell, dude. I felt that, man. The whole room felt that. That was lit.
I did my best. I haven't really rapped in like 20 years. So.
Well, it was good. And another skill that I didn't know that you had was you're a pretty good mosher in the pit, bro.
I didn't know either. We're all evolving, right?
Yeah.
Last year, I actually remember looking at that mosh pit. I was shocked there was a mosh pit. First of all, I didn't know backwards had that kind of effect on people. Yeah. I really didn't. And I was scared. I was looking at it. I was like, man, that looks dangerous. Like, I don't want to break my nose and shit. Like, I want to take it easy a bit. But this year, I was just feeling it. I got down there. Yeah, I got involved, you know.
You got involved is an understatement, bro. You were
I heard I might have got
heads.
extra involved. I might have, again, had too much to drink.
It was amazing. You, like, checked somebody over the speaker, and then you grabbed...
What?
It was awesome.
See, I don't remember.
It was awesome.
Okay.
It was great, dude. And then you grabbed Luke. Luke, like, was trying to sit out, and you grabbed him.
I do that. I do that all the time with Luke.
It was dope.
He's my punching bag. Not too literally, but if I'm going to push someone over a speaker, it's going to be Luke.
That's lit. Well, yeah, man. I mean, as we've just described, it's been nothing but fucking smiles and like excitement and high energy here. Since the moment we flew. I mean, I was here a couple days before even TDV, and it was still popping, dude. Like.
Yeah, this is like turning into a month-long sort of a thing.
Yeah.
There's even a Facebook group called Anarchapulco 365 24/7. Mm-hmm. It's almost becoming people are just moving here, and that's just to let people know that's not a part of my plan at all. If you move here, and if you have problems, it's not my responsibility, as we found out recently. Yeah. You have to be a little bit smart and careful. But if you're not involved in the drug trade, like you're not selling drugs in the ghetto, basically it's all fine. Yeah. But it's truly not a part of my plan. But it just turned out that a lot of people moved here, and that's cool, and it's great.
Well, I think they feel like this sort of like very welcoming vibe, both from like just the environment. I mean, this is like the best climate for humans to live in my opinion. But then even from
there's a lot of people watching this right now, and it's minus 30 outside.
Yeah, it's
right
February, so pretty much everybody north of like Virginia is freezing. I mean, even south of that is freezing their nuts off. And then from where you grew up,
this global warming just isn't working out. I don't know what's going on. It gets colder and colder. It's weird.
Well, actually,
just got to raise the carbon tax more, maybe, and maybe it'll fix it.
I never understood that. How like they were talking about how like carbon is such an awful thing, but it's like the food for trees.
Well, dude, do you not realize fully what that scam's all about?
Let's hear it.
They're taxing you on CO2. What is CO2?
It's
the air that comes out of your mouth.
Yeah, dude, you're gonna get taxed on.
And they're making, and people are like, yeah, tax us on the air that we breathe out of our mouth. Wow.
Quite literally taxes.
Brainwashed.
That's insane. So yeah, that's crap. So yeah, that's kind of the agenda behind that. If you haven't figured it out, I mean, if you need the more scientific approach, we're gonna have some engineers on later. There's a lot of other sketchy shit with the whole climate change, and it kind of connects to geoengineering. I just found out recently that basically they say geoengineering is to stop climate change, is to release ozone back into the atmosphere, but it's actually a bunch of heavy metals that they're microwaving to manipulate the climate to make it destructive, to make it seem like there's a catastrophic event happening.
Basically, they're trying to destroy the world.
Yeah.
And trying to kill a lot of people, and a lot of people still haven't figured it out.
And a lot of people
and they look at us like we're crazy. We're like, have you not noticed they're trying to do all this stuff to you guys?
You don't notice like clouds like straight lines?
You should be taken off YouTube. Okay, whatever you want to do. I don't care. I'm done. I'm done with all this.
How about the internet?
I'm just gonna
censorship?
live my life.
Yeah. That's another thing. How about the internet censorship that we're dealing with, man? Like, I feel like we're getting shadow banned left and right.
Yep.
How many times has Sterling Lujan had to create a Facebook in the past year?
Yeah, there's some people like Sterling and Luis Fernando Mises. I'm like, wow, they're even shadow banning them because they're, no offense, they're not huge. They don't have millions of followers, and they talk about very it's not even close to being like offensive or like conspiracy theorists. They're just like love one another and stuff, and ban. That tells you right there who's in charge. They want to get rid of love. They want to bring in the fear, hate, tax you, impoverish you, and pretty much kill you.
And that's the guys.
We're the bad guys, right?
I know, we're the bad guys. I don't think the little doggy thinks, oh, you're so cute, look at you. So it's funny because I guess that's kind of sort of what prompted you to get into your line of work and the vlogging that you've done, and then this conference, right? Isn't that sort of like the idea behind all this is to do something about all this?
Yeah, I guess. It started with when I found out what anarchy was. I was like, whoa, it's not what they say it is. And I got to tell people that. Then I found out about Austrian economics. I'm like, whoa, this whole financial system is all a scam too. It's all everything's a Ponzi scheme and a scam. I got to tell people about that. That's the dollar Vigilante. And then I was like, man, there's so many smart people that I get to know with like my show Anarchist. I've interviewed like 500 people now. Every single one, I'm like, holy cow, people need to hear this. Yeah. It doesn't get a ton of views, but you know how that all works.
Yeah.
We used to get way more. I was looking back like 5 years ago. It'd be like a Rob Hustle who did that great track called The Cops. Yeah. That was over 100,000 views. I had a number of videos over 100,000. Now I have to have the craziest video to get over 10,000 views. It's just blocked and banned, and we know that. You know, but people got to wake up, and there's ways around it. You know, that Steam and all those ways.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, I think a lot of people are going to go down with this system, and maybe they should go down. Like, how long is it going to take you to wake up? If you're not going to wake up, go to sleep.
Yeah.
I don't want to kill them. I would never kill them. But maybe they deserve it.
Yeah, it's essentially, I believe it's like everybody has to deal with their karma. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you choose to willfully remain ignorant, that you're basically asking for negative consequences. And like, we want to feel bad for you, and we're literally screaming at you through a microphone to wake the fuck up. But like, a lot of people just want to keep their head buried. So how do we do it, Jeff? How do we wake up the people who don't want to be woken up? Is that even possible, or do we just let them live their life?
Well, we're already seeing it happening. There was like, you know, hardly any anarchists, like true anarchists 20 years ago. Jeffrey Tucker is the MC here, and he was saying like in the 1980s or 90s, it'd be him and Rothbard and Ayn Rand. They'd be sitting in a room going, how many anarcho-capitalists do you think there are in the world? And they'd be like 10, 15. Now there's got to be over 1 million.
Well, there's 2,000 here right now.
Just right here, right now. Right? It's growing at that speed. Yeah. So, no, we're waking people up, and that's what we just got to keep doing. That's, I said I'm kind of giving up. I don't mean it that much, but like I've actually disattached myself from the end result. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. But if everyone dies because no one woke up, I did my best.
Well, you know what's funny, Jeff? I think that focusing on the process is the solution in a sense. Because focusing on the end goal, it becomes like this like drug or this like sort of like dragon that you chase, you know what I mean? Because you're like, all right, well, I got this, you know, before I didn't have an anarchist conference, now I do. Before there was only 100 people here, now there's 2,000. And it's like, oh, but maybe we could be doing more. And I find this even in my own work, in my own life. But it's like, when you take it day by day and you're like, hey, let's wake up and just do what I love to do, which is help people and teaching about truth. And then you look back over the course of 5 years, you're like, oh, wow, I did a lot. This is crazy. Like, even our channel, man, you were our first interview. Like, straight up, dude. Like, we really didn't even have a channel when we came here last year. Me and him just always talked about this shit, and all our friends were like, shut the hell up, dude, this is annoying, we want to play video games. You know, why do you keep talking about this shit? And me and so like, oh, fuck, we gotta go outside. And then we found out about this shit, and we were like, let's go down. And then we were like, you know what, let's try to report on this. Like, we feel like we could become part of the conversation too. And then you were just like gracious enough to have that conversation with us, and it was awesome. And it inspired us to go out, and I've adapted that ethos. Like, I didn't know how I was gonna like make a channel or do anything like that, but I was like, you know what, it just has to be done, and I'm just gonna take one step every day, and I'm gonna do it with love.
That's one thing I've really learned over the last few years. I've become more of like a hippie, and I do like my yoga, my meditation, coffee enemas, and I'm just zoned out half the time. I think most of my life I was always running towards something.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to do this. I got to make this. I have to do this, and I still feel that way a little bit. I do want to change this world, but just like you just pointed out, most people, including myself until very recently, totally missed that this whole process is part of the beauty of it all. Yeah. There's a reason to all of this. I'm sure there is. And I think a lot of people, including myself until recently, missed that this whole every day when we're just doing this stuff, this is part of the enjoyment, part of the fun. There is no end point exactly. Wherever it is, it's not going to be where you're planning to go anyway. Enjoy the ride. Exactly. Bill Hicks had, if you know that Bill Hicks?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can put that probably in this video if you want.
The world is like a ride at an amusement park, and when you choose to go on it, you think it's real, because that's how powerful our minds are. And the ride goes up and down and round and round. It has thrills and chills, and it's very brightly colored, and it's very loud, and it's fun for a while. Some people have been on the ride for a long time, and they begin to question, is this real, or is this just a ride? And other people have remembered, and they come back to us, and they say, hey, don't worry, don't be afraid, ever, because this is just a ride, and we kill those people. Shut him up. We have a lot invested in this ride. Shut him up. Look at my furrows of worry. Look at my big bank account and my family. This has to be real. It's just a ride. But we always kill those good guys who try and tell us that. You ever notice that? And let the demons run amok? But it doesn't matter because it's just a ride. And we can change it anytime we want. It's only a choice. No effort, no work, no job, no savings of money. A choice right now between fear and love.
He's so right.
It's so poetic.
And then he died, and then maybe he's now Alex Jones. I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh my God. Like reincarnated or something?
No, there's serious theories that he is, Bill Hicks didn't die and he's actually Alex Jones. I don't know if it's true.
He just put on all that weight?
It's an interesting theory.
That is fucking wild. Jesus Christ. I'm going to really take a good hard look at Alex Jones next time I watch his videos.
I don't think it's true, but it could be.
Yeah, that's very possible.
I don't believe anything anymore.
You got to be skeptical, but it has to be a healthy skepticism. And you can't take things at face value. You definitely have to do your own like experimentation and research. That's what I always find. Like anything we say today, don't believe it. Just enter it into your consciousness, digest it, and if it resonates with you, keep it. If not, so be it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, dude, so check it out. Dude, I remember watching a speech you gave at Anarchapulco. One of my favorite ones of yours, by the way. It was just well delivered. It was just a good vibe. And then I was like, wait, what the hell? This is crazy. There's there's one of these in Europe now, and it kind of makes sense because like Europe's pretty far from here, so I could see why Europeans wanted to do that. And I thought it was so cool that like not only like I could see like somebody who's a little bit more petty be like, what are you guys doing? Steal my name type shit. You know what I mean? But like not only did you not do that, but you embraced the movement. You showed up and you fucking spoke there, which was awesome.
Well, I'm living true anarchy, and yeah, you're right. Like, if we were statists, I'd be like, "Oh, you're kind of copying our name. I'll call my lawyer, and we'll get the government involved, and we'll go to court." And it's like, no, I want there to be 1 million anarchist conferences. That's my dream. I actually want it that we don't have to have these anymore because people finally wake up, right? And you know about the terrible thing that happened here recently, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
A person named John Galton, who was running an event called Anarchapulco, was killed. Don't want to get into too many details. It's a long story. But they were copying our name, and they were actually slagging us a lot, you know. But I always took the high road. They'd be like, "Anarchapulco kind of sucks. Why don't you come to ours?" I was like, "Oh, you know, rest in peace, John and Lily. Love you. You guys. I wish you would have realized it would be way better if you went. Anarchapulco's awesome. We have something different, and if you'd like to go to that, that's the way to do business." And they just missed that part. But since the problems they've had, I've been one of the biggest people helping them out, helping Lily out. I just saw it as like, oh, it's too bad you didn't fully understand. That's the real key.
Yeah, that's the truth.
You don't get ahead in life by hating and causing problems and lying. And I'm not saying they did that, but like, that's not the way to get ahead.
Yeah.
Peace, love, and anarchy, man. That's the only way.
We live in an abundant universe.
We do.
You know what I mean?
It's been hidden from us. People get scared. It's very emotional down here on this plane, wherever we are.
Yeah. Yes.
But we'll fix it. We'll fix it. It's going to take a couple more years, probably.
Yeah.
Almost there. Just hang in there.
Yeah. So, I'm so tempted because of the language that you just used to get into an entirely different discussion.
Oh, you want to talk about flat Earth?
We can totally not if you don't want to.
I don't feel like talking about it.
Sounds good,
I'll say one thing on it. I looked into it for years.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's round or flat. And actually, I love that David Icke's here, and I loved his answer when someone asked him, is it round or flat? He said, none of this is real.
That's pretty big.
And I agree with that.
I dig that, yeah.
So I kind of stopped caring about it after I realized that too. I'm like, none of this is really real. This is an experience. This is a ride, as Bill Hicks kind of said. Whether it's round or flat, that's almost inconsequential.
Yeah, in a way. I completely agree.
And I don't think we still can't prove it either way. That's really bizarre. Like maybe this matrix, there's certain things you just can't prove or can't go too far on.
What comes to mind is the double slit experiment, where consciousness
all that kind of
affects matter
stuff.
and
Yes.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it
you
gets
can
really
get deep
weird.
into this. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're into like the weird health shit. I just met a dude who's a breatharian. Dude does not eat, and he runs marathons. He's a CrossFit trainer. He tells me he runs and he quits not because he's tired, but because he's like over it. He's like bored.
Well, Herschel Walker, who was like one of the best athletes of all time, NFL running back, I believe it was Herschel Walker.
Yeah.
You can look him up. He eats one meal a day his entire life, and it's like a salad. The guy's built like an ox.
Yeah, dude.
Well, look at bulls. You know, like you can do this stuff. Anything is almost possible.
Yeah.
But it's all been hidden from people, and people don't have the courage to even try. That's the sad part.
And like, yeah, the power that is in our human body and spirit, that's almost the biggest secret. The power to heal disease, the power to become strong, the power to not be dependent on food or vaccines or any sort of other weird shit that they say that you need to get by in this world. It's actually, you have everything you need within you in any situation.
Yeah, when we started Anarchapulco, I've changed a lot. That was 5 years ago, and a lot of people wore black t-shirts, and all they cared about is like, fuck the government, let's get drunk, this sucks. and then I started to wake up, I'm like, man, I've been trying to change the world, but you try to change yourself, then the world changes.
Yeah.
Your mind is like the projector. I don't get how it works. I'm so curious, and we have so many great people, Mark Passio,
I was just
who you
gonna
know,
say that, yeah.
And David Icke, and then there was another guy this morning, Christoph, I forget his last name.
Was he the guy dressed in white?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was dope, yo. What? That was crazy.
He's actually kind of one of my shamans, but I still look at him like, is this real?
Yeah. That's wild.
I want to just do some Googling on YouTube. Actually, before they ban everything and censor everything, try to get this information.
It's crazy, and that kind of that's kind of the reason why this conference has such a cryptocurrency element to it, because these sort of like cryptographic technologies, whether it's Steam blockchains or whether it's, you know, Monero private fungible like money, like that kind of stuff allows us to sort of maybe kind of find another sort of like area, I guess, or space to live in that isn't constricted or censored.
Yeah, you know, before cryptocurrency, there wasn't much hope for humans. The first hope was the internet.
Yeah, I agree.
Before that, they controlled I don't know who they are exactly. I don't understand. Mark Passio could tell you more. But these archons or whatever they are, they controlled everything. They controlled everything you saw, everything you do through the media, through television programming. It's called programming for a reason. It's literally hypnosis. Somehow the internet happened, and now we can actually get this information out. It might not last too much longer. I don't know what's going on, but we have a great moment in time where we can get access to information. It could be wrong information, fake news, it could be, but you at least have the option or the opportunity to find something and look into it yourself, and that's what you should totally do. And then the second big thing happened. Bitcoin, 2009. Launched right at the top of the financial crisis of 2008, and it actually just said, this is why we're doing it, because this system's going down and we need money for the people. So now because currency is very important.
Yeah.
It's called currency for a reason. It's actually energy.
Yeah.
A lot of people talk about this now. And if you control the currency of the world, which is the energy of the world, you control everything. So they still have control of that, but they're losing it right now. If everyone today started using cryptos, and you know, there's good ones, bad ones, I don't know, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Monero, but if everyone just walked away from these dirty pieces of paper with dead criminals printed on it, this whole world changes. It's over.
Their income is gone at that point.
They're gone.
Yeah.
They just disappear. Everyone's like, what happened to Donald Trump and Barack Obama? They're just gone.
They're like homeless.
Yeah, we changed the game.
You see Donald Trump sitting like begging for change, like damn it.
Hillary Clinton, Hillary, Barack drone bomber.
So brutal.
They're fucking janitors at best.
Drives me crazy. Yeah, there's
whack ass sociopaths.
Total figureheads. So that's self-evident. We actually had a guy on. I know his real name, but he operates under a surname. It's like Letien de la something squared. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He really like him. He like, dude, infographic after infographic. Like, did you ever see in like those movies where the crazy like guy has all the bulletin boards and all the strings tied up?
Yeah.
His book is that laid out like for you there, like every single connection. And it's just like, once that information is out there on the internet, on the Steam blockchain, it's like the cat's out of the bag. The emperor has no clothes. You know what I mean?
We're close to the end.
That's what I think too.
But what happens? You can't go to sleep on this. Like if you're sitting there watching this, we're not going to win this game for you. We need everyone to be involved in this game. So start using crypto. Start waking up. If we do, we're going to have times that no one can even imagine.
Yeah.
We'll create like, what's that? Where everyone's blue. It's a movie. They live in like paradise.
It's not Avatar.
Avatar.
Yeah.
It's going to be kind of like that. And then you notice that movie, what comes in? Well, they said the companies, but it was like basically the government came in.
The military-industrial complex.
We can have something like that, but with this technology too.
Yeah.
That'd be even better.
Oh my God! Could you imagine living
We're
in
just flying around, and we got like the internet.
We can still call.
And we
our
just
parents.
make love and eat good food and have beautiful dogs. Actually, everything I just described I have right now, but I want everyone else to have it.
That's the idea. We want to share with all
Yes,
the earth.
yes,
You know what I
I do.
mean? And but that almost is a testament. It's like this is how we do it. Each individual gets there on their own, and then we all show up one day and we're like, oh shit, we all did it. We can all just sit down now. You know what I mean?
I hope so, man.
Jeff, thanks a lot. Hey,
Pleasure.
one last thing. Just tell everybody where they can find you.
Hey, if you, on the internet, you could probably find me, but Dollar Vigilante, Anarchist, Anarchapulco.
Hell yeah. And guess what?
And actually, don't come to my house. A guy was in my house like a few months ago.
Yeah.
I'm walking through my house. He's like, hey. I'm like, do I know you? And he's like, oh, I love your YouTube videos. I'm like, how did you end up in my house? He's like, well, I knew kind of the general area, and then I saw you, and your maid just let me in. I'm like, don't come right into my house, at least. You know, so when you ask, how could people find you? I'd actually prefer if it was a little calmed down
Not
on that
in my
level,
house.
yeah.
Well, I was inspired so much last year by this conference and by you, and as things worked out, going to Steamfest and a lot, we actually decided, to throw our own conference in the States because it's fucking beat up there. There's nothing good going on with this kind of shit, you know what I mean? And you know that more than most people.
Yeah.
It's called
U.S. is one of the worst in the world, and people don't know. A lot of Americans are watching this like, what? I thought I lived in the land of the free, the home of the brave. You've been television programmed, my friend.
And we are.
You live in North Korea, basically.
Or Nazi
You don't
Germany.
even know it. Yep.
So yeah, our attempt with this conference is to basically try to fix that problem in America.
Good.
And man, if you're free, we would love to have you down there. We would pay to get you down there.
I'm
we would
open
pay
to
have
it
you
for
speak.
sure. Let's
Dude,
talk.
Awesome, Jeff.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks
Cheers.
again, man. See you around. All right, so as you just heard, Jeff Berwick is interested in coming to Anarchadelphia, so you can look forward to possibly seeing him there. We got Mark Passio on the deck. I guess I'll announce Derek Bros, even though it's not formally together. That dude's the shit, and I can read his energy, dude. I think he's going to help us out a lot. So we got shit brewing, man. Things are really cool, so check us out, State of Anarchy, and we'll have a website for the conference coming up shortly.
Join the State of Anarchy this September's Harvest Moon in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where this gathering of like minds aims to foster unbreakable relationships between the movement's leading forces, whom teach self-love and ownership, blockchain techno-economics, as well as exposing the Earth's sacred hidden knowledge. So will we see you there?